And we are live. Welcome to Fisticuffs. It's new all over here with Verbal on Life.
6 a.m. and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right.
Teaser what it sounds like. Yeah, my man, cloud.
Just the sun coming up on the horizon. Lose track of time. Yeah, move fast and climb.
A little bit of boxing commentating on the show here, but I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day. I get lost in the words I say. I don't
Let me start all over because we are streaming live on Instagram, Facebook, and X, usually known as Twitter. So let's take this time to just talk to you guys a little bit. Because I think that they give a lot of shout out to regular boxing, but they always forget dwarf boxing. And I'm only calling it dwarf because that's the title of the video that I'm showing right there. You know, I want to be correct in naming the video. No, you just can't name anything. And it's R&R. But you know what? I don't even know if I have the rights. So let me switch the video and keep talking to you guys.
been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like it.
To come up with prepaid credit cards for the illegal migrants. What do you think's behind this? Why do they need prepaid credit cards?
It sounds like insanity is behind it because it really is offensive. It may be the most reprehensible thing that I've seen take place over the past 48 hours when you see police officers in New York City being beat by illegal immigrants in this country who should not be in the country in the first place.
Well, questions being raised tonight about a new pilot program that'll give migrant families a reloadable prepaid credit card to buy food and baby supplies.
All right, it would replace the food boxes given to asylum seekers staying in hotels.
In New York City, 70,000 migrants have flooded in over the past year, straining local resources. Washington has been all but deaf to the needs, even though the president is of the same party as the mayor, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and the governor, Governor Kathy Hochul. So the mayor announced a new $53 million plan to give migrants prepaid meal cards. Adams says this is cheaper in the long run. Critics say.
By the way, you know the border is something that the president of the United States, I said president, is something the president of the United States is supposed to take care of. That's his job, to do the border of the country. Now, all these Democrats are doing this craziness, giving people food stamps or prepaid card based on our taxes. Like, those individuals didn't work for all of this. They just broke the law by breaking into the country.
No, it isn't. You shouldn't be spending any of this money, and it's only going to encourage migrants to come to the Big Apple. And taxpayers are going to have to pay for it, and they're going to wind up getting things that the taxpayers who are paying for it can't get.
If this is successful, we're going to expand it even more.
The pilot program drawing immediate criticism, including from rapper 50 Cent, who went on to social media to vent his frustration, writing, "Maybe Trump is the answer."
I told 50 Cent to hit me up. I would love to explain it to him.
Wrap your head, if we could, around $9.8 million a day for people who have crossed the border illegally. This is illegal. They did not come in the right way. These are illegal immigrants coming in that we, the hardworking people of this state, no matter where you come from, you're here legally. You're footing the bill. This is wrong, absolutely wrong. And like I said to you earlier, this has become a bottomless pit, and there's no end in sight. It's time to cut it off.
New York.
She just said it perfectly. You know, to get people to understand what's really happening. These are people coming in illegally, and they're being awarded for breaking the law. Insane. Growing up, you break the law, you go to jail, or you have to pay the consequences. But not if you come into the country illegally. You are being awarded. The solution, Trump 2024. Shout out to 50 Cent. I completely agree with the man. We do need a Trump 2024. And you know, Trump is going to be campaigning in Madison Square Garden in the Bronx. So he's going to be looking for those votes because he knows that right now we're going through hell.
This migrant crisis is now hurting the bank accounts of city workers that people rely on most. You're talking about police, fire, sanitation, and corrections departments. They've all been directed to cut overtime to help trim their budgets by 5%. Mayor Eric Adams wanting to end overtime for officers and firefighters to pay for the 100,000 migrants who have arrived in the Big Apple over the last year. With no end in sight, Adams estimating that carry for all of these people will cost billions.
Some migrant families will soon be given prepaid credit cards to buy food and baby supplies. The mayor's office says the city is partnering with Mobility Capital Finance to launch a more cost-effective program. Right now, the city has contracts with food services who provide non-perishable food boxes to shelters. They will start with 500 migrant families with children in short-term hotel stays. The cards can only be used at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores.
We're just giving this.
And by the way, more and more people are coming because this year the weather, it's a little crazy, right? It's supposed to be snowing. We are in February, you know, and we all know that like in February, March, even April, you still see some snow. But the temperature is changing. It says that it's going to be like 60 degrees this weekend. So it's getting back to warm. So I don't even know if it's going to snow again this year. So things are only going to get worse. More and more people are coming in. And I hope that when you see television talking about migrants coming in, I think seeing it on TV doesn't sink into a lot of people. But if you go downstairs and go outside and you start seeing crowds of people, that should sink in. That this is crazy. Some of these people are criminals. They're going around robbing people, driving around in a moped, organizing themselves to go steal from the rich. You know, just making it to this country. It's an amazing opportunity for them. And those who are here illegally are just squandering it, getting themselves locked up and hurting the citizens.
Migrant population, more free stuff at the expense of New York City taxpayers.
In a statement, the mayor's office says, in part, quote, not only will this provide families with the ability to purchase fresh food of their culturally relevant diets and the baby supplies of their choosing, but the pilot program is expected to save New York City more than $600,000 per month or more than $7.2 million annually.
I know you know this. New York Democrats have obviously been critical of the tactics border state leaders like Governor Greg Abbott have taken to handle the crisis with the busing. New York has long been a sanctuary city, saying, come one, come all. I'm curious if you think after all that you have witnessed, the attitudes towards states like Texas and Arizona have changed now that you're getting a taste of it yourself, and if New York still welcomes people with open arms.
Well, once again, we reach a pinnacle here where we discuss Democrats versus Republicans. You know, the Republicans are saying what they're saying now, close the border. We have to stop condemning Abbott and any of the other border states.
So you fix the problem in New York and you create a new one at the border. What's the response been from the mayor and other New York officials?
I'm not going to be thankful that a program that was bloated and inefficient is somehow cheaper to just give away.
Free money to undocumented migrants. Insane. And it started to sink in, as you see here, to a lot of people's mind, like, we cannot sustain this. What are we doing? All the money that we're spending could be used to better fund schools, to better fund opportunity, to help the people here working, paying taxes, using on them.
Free money to people in the hopes that they feed themselves.
According to the New York Post, this pilot program will cost the city $53 million. The amount loaded on the card will depend on the family size. The families who get these credit cards will be required to sign an affidavit swearing they will only use them for food or baby supplies. Those who violate the terms could be kicked out of the program.
We have got an overflow here of now, 110,000 migrants that are here. And this has gone on way too long. The numbers have grown every week now. Last week was 104. Week before that was 100. Now we're 110. What's the real number out there? Nobody really knows because nobody's really keeping track of exactly what's going on in this city. It's reached a proportion where it's impossible to keep track of. And now we're talking about cutting our budget. Are you kidding me? To our police? We're looking at 5% in November. We're looking at 5% in January, and we are looking at as much as another 5% come early spring.
They are closing schools to house migrants. In New York City, it was on the news, how they closed the school down for like a day just to put migrants in there because it was so cold.
15%. 15% to a police department that's already suffering and cannot do their jobs, as well as our fire department. Key agency.
It's the latest effort by New York City officials to deal with the ongoing migrant surge. More than 173,000 migrants and asylum seekers have arrived in New York City since the spring of 2022. Both in New York.
And it's not going to stop, right? We are only in February, Elections coming in what, November? So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 9 months. Yeah, I had to count with my fingers. But in 9 months, a lot of people are going to be coming in before we get Trump in here.
York Democratic governor and the mayor have been pleading for federal support, insisting the city is at a breaking point.
This has hurt us. And where the White House needs to make adjustments.
And you see some of these images, you see some of these people in New York City committing crimes, and the sense of entitlement on some of these illegal aliens is unbelievable. They act like they have a right to illegally come into our country. I'm sorry, you do not have that right. And if we were a country that was serious, we'd be sending these people back home to their home countries. That's how you enforce the rule of law. Biden's not doing that. He could secure the border if he wanted to, and he's choosing not to do it. So
he's trying to use this idea that it's because of Congress, it's because the Republican, it's because of you, sir. You have the power to just sign a piece of paper saying deport back to Mexico or deport back to their country. You have the executive power. Now you're going to pretend and trick people to think that the only reason you don't do it is because you want more money. You don't need money. All you need is a piece of paper and a pen and sign it away. And more people got to talk about it. More people got to point it out. My man, stop talking about funding. Close the border. Sign a piece of paper. Keep it moving.
So I don't think they're going to end up with any type of legislation that's going to actually solve the problem. I think in some respects it may codify the problems and kind of give Biden a campaign issue to where he says, oh, well, they wouldn't give me the authority. He has the authority now. If he wanted to do it, Biden could do this if he wanted to. I mean, he doesn't need legislation. I know they're working on it. Everything I've heard about it is that it's a disaster, what they're doing in Washington, because they're servicing other interests rather than your interests. But he could do it right now if he wanted to. And instead, what they're doing is he has threatened to actually go in and remove barricades that Texas has put up to let more people come into this country illegally.
Police do not track crime committed by the undocumented, but the attack on police officers comes as a growing number of arrests can be linked to.
That's crazy that they don't even track it. They cannot even give statistic of what's going on because you have a lot of ghost criminals. What's a ghost criminal? We got criminals that go ahead and get arrested, they go process, and they give fake names. So you don't even know who the person is. Every single time they go in to get processed, they come up with a name. Why not? They don't have a social security. They could say whatever they want, and all you could do is believe them. I guess you're Jose. I guess you're Juan. I guess you're whatever name you give. Insane.
Residents of migrant shelters. Arrest records show residents living at 30 of the city's 200 migrant shelters have been arrested more than 1,200 times in the last year. City records show the top crimes include petty larceny, assault, grand larceny, endangering the welfare of a child, and robbery.
You know what it is to get arrested? Or knowing that you could do a crime and don't worry, nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to get deported. You're not going to spend time in jail or get a bond, or your record's not going to get ruined. That's scary. That is insane. But let that sink in. Hope this channel doesn't get taken down, but I'm only being honest with you guys. Write down what you think on the comments below. But this lawlessness is like the Wild Wild West. You have no idea who you're fighting, just some guy.
What you're seeing is city, state, and federal policy from Democratic lawmakers coming to a head, and it's really become a disaster for our communities. This is just one video that we've seen, and this is something that is unacceptable. It's like going to somebody's house for dinner and you break all the china. I mean, you outdo your welcome. And the fact that the taxpayers that I represent are being forced by this mayor to continue to house these individuals in luxury hotels, provide their every need, even legal services they're paying for, laundry services, is just unacceptable.
More than 80% of New Yorkers say that the recent migrant influx is a serious problem.
When migrants first came to sanctuary cities, Democrats rolled out the red carpet. They pitched them wedding tents, filled them with recliners, popcorn machines, Xboxes. Leaders of sanctuary cities campaigned on the issue and boasted about all the illegals they'd let.
Who wouldn't go to a country that gives you all of those amenities? These people are coming from countries that have nothing like this, like a bunch of free stuff, free money, free game box, free television, free places to sleep, everything taken care of you. You get sick, go to the doctor and the hospital there to take care of you. And we or somebody else pays.
let in. But house guests can only stay for so long before getting on your nerves. The migrants are now causing trouble in the communities that were forced to take them in.
Keep the wall up with a door in it. Welcoming people, but welcoming people the right way. Controlling how many people come in every day. Wrap your head, if we could, around $9.8 million a day for people who have crossed the border illegally. This is illegal.
She just said 9.8 millions. Wow.
Illegal. They did not come in the right way. These are illegal immigrants coming in that we, the hardworking people of this state, no matter where you come from, you're here legally. You're footing the bill. This is wrong. Absolutely wrong. And like I said to you earlier, this has become a bottomless pit and there's no end in sight. It's time to cut it off. That's the only thing that's going to work here. You know, when they come from these other countries, this is heaven. This is heaven. Even if they're sleeping in a cot in a park or somebody's backyard or front steps, that's inhumane. But they're happy with it because it's better than where they come from.
Yes.
You know, I think not. I think not. And, you know, they're quick to blame the border states, Texas and the other border states. Imagine they've been putting up with this for years and years and years. And now we're getting a taste of it with 107,000. That's like a shot glass over Niagara Falls. It's time to close the border, Brittany. It's time to close the border. And if we're not going to close the border, which we know Biden has no intention of doing that, then it's time for the individual states to say no more. We're back to that again.
If we put up resistance, we show that we can secure the border. Joe Biden should not be stopping that.
And you know what's crazy? The fact that I think this is a problem that politicians campaign on. Like, I'm going to do better with this particular problem. So if that problem stays around, maybe they're happy because then they get to show, look what I did. Look at the little progress that I did. At the end of the day, Trump is the only one that came in and did something big. Like, let's start with a border wall. That may not work 100%, but it's a start. It helps definitely bring the number down a little bit. Once you put the whole wall, okay, let's see what else. What's not working? What else needs to be done? But at least doing drastic change. Not little by little like they're trying to do. Like, I did a little bit of a fix. And that's all politicians got, to show that they're doing something, that they're worth millions, or that they're worth whatever salary they make. And at the end of the day, we're being fooled because now what? We got kids. We got kids that we send to school that are on the street. We go to the street. So now we got to defend ourselves because the government is not doing their part. It's a horrible situation to live in. And I think we need to talk more and more about it. Because if we don't, the media is definitely not going to do it. Because this is something that the media should be covering at length. They should be talking about it every day in order to push politicians to say, okay, this is over the top. This is too much. You know, somebody pushed the president to make a change, to make a difference. We are living in some crazy times. And I had to make this video just to point it out and be part of the social media group that's pointing it out, you know? But what do you think? Welcome to Fisticuffs. My name is Noel from Verbal on Life. If you haven't subscribed yet, go to Verbal on Life and subscribe. We up to 1,254 subscribers. So go ahead and be the 55th. Help us join. We finally got monetized. You know, I've been doing this YouTube thing for like a year now. So one thing that I decided for myself is, you know what, I want to put in a year. And I know doing a video every day for a year straight, I think I could get monetized. And boom, it happened. Dream come true. My first paycheck from YouTube is going to come in at the end of the month, at the end of February, because they pay every month. So they pay creators once a month. My month started February 1st. So let's see what this month check is going to be. Don't expect it to be big because it's the first month and I don't get as many views as the big time creators. I don't have a single video that went viral yet. Nothing. So not a reason to quit though. You know, in life, one of the tricks in life is just to push forward and to give it a try. You know, unless you give it a try, you don't know if you're going to succeed, especially when it's something that you love, that you enjoy doing. I'm an individual battling MS. For those of you who don't know, that's multiple sclerosis. And that takes away a lot of your motor functions, like walking, talking, moving your fingers. See, I can move my fingers slowly. Can I move this hand? And you can't let that stop you. Like sitting down and waiting, to the end of time, it's not worth it. It's good for you to pick a hobby or something to do and push it. Don't give in. Don't give up. Just do it on purpose. I'm doing this on purpose, creating a YouTube channel, making a video every day, and putting my thoughts out there. All right. I do hope to see change. This border crisis, we got to send Trump 2024. Because yes, a border wall may not be the number one solution, but it's a solution. It's a solution. Something better than nothing. Once we do the wall, how about then we tighten it up? What else? How are they getting through that wall? Let's fix that. You see, little by little. But the proposal that the Democrats got, something about have a limit of 5,000 a week. Only if we get more than 5,000, then do something about it. About zero. What the hell is this? 5,000. Not only that, but the bill has a couple of $1 billion where 90% of that money is going to Ukraine and only 10% is being used for our border. La La Land. Crazy time. And you know the trick about Ukraine is the fact that we don't really know what's happening, or we don't really know why we are fighting Russia. Why do we have beef with that country? You know, luckily, what's his name? Tucker Carlson went to Russia. And he's going to interview Vladimir Putin. That's crazy. Take a look at what he said. Shout out to Tucker Carlson. Because we got to speak the truth.
Interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. We'll be doing that soon. There are risks to conducting an interview like this, obviously. So we thought about it carefully over many months. Here's why we're doing it. First, because it's our job. We're in journalism. Our duty is to inform people. 2 years into a war that's reshaping the entire world, most Americans are not informed. They have no real idea what's happening in this region, here in Russia or 600 miles away in Ukraine. But they should know. They're paying for much of it in ways they might not fully yet perceive. The war in Ukraine is a human disaster. It's left hundreds of thousands of people dead, an entire generation of young Ukrainians, and it's depopulated the largest country in Europe. But the long-term effects are even more profound. This war has utterly reshaped the global military and trade alliances, and the sanctions that followed have as well. And in total, they have upended the world economy.
You know, Tucker Carlson now working for himself, it looks like he's free to do whatever he wants. As a journalist going over to Russia to interview the president of what we all just grew up thinking that's the enemy country.
The post-World War II economic order, the system that guaranteed prosperity in the West for more than 80 years, is coming apart very fast, and along with it, the dominance of the US dollar. These are not small changes. They are history-altering developments. They will define the lives of our grandchildren. Most of the world understands this perfectly well. They can see it. Ask anyone in Asia or the Middle East what the future looks like. And yet the populations of the English-speaking countries seem mostly unaware. They think that as nothing has really changed. And they think that because no one has told them the truth. Their media outlets are corrupt. They lie to their readers and viewers. And they do that mostly by omission. For example, since the day the war in Ukraine began, American media outlets have spoken to scores of people from Ukraine, and they've done scores of interviews with Ukrainian President Zelensky. We ourselves have put in a request for an interview with Zelensky, and we hope he accepts. But the interviews he's already done in the United States are not traditional interviews. They are fawning pep sessions specifically designed to amplify Zelensky's demand that the U.S. enter more deeply into a war in Eastern Europe and pay for it. That is not journalism. It is government propaganda. Propaganda of the ugliest kind, the kind that kills people. At the same time, our politicians and media outlets have been doing this, promoting a foreign leader like he's a new consumer brand. Not a single Western journalist has bothered to interview the president of the other country involved in this conflict, Vladimir Putin. Most Americans have no idea why Putin invaded Ukraine or what his goals are now. They've never heard his voice. That's wrong. Americans have a right to know all they can about a war they're implicated in, and we have the right to tell them about it because we are Americans too. Freedom of speech is our birthright. We were born with the right to say what we believe. That right cannot be taken away no matter who is in the White House. But they're trying anyway. Almost 3 years ago, the Biden administration illegally spied on our text messages and then leaked the contents to their servants in the news media. They did this in order to stop a Putin interview that we were planning. Last month, we're pretty certain they did exactly the same thing once again. But this time, we came to Moscow anyway. We are not here because we love Vladimir Putin. We are here because we love the United States. And we want it to remain prosperous and free. We paid for this trip ourselves. We took no money from any government or group. Nor are we charging people to see the interview. It is not behind a paywall. Anyone can watch the entire thing, shot live to tape and unedited, on our website, tuckercarlson.com. Elon Musk, to his great credit, has promised not to suppress or block this interview once we post it on his platform, X, and we're grateful for that. Western governments, by contrast, will certainly do their best to censor this video on other less principled platforms because that's what they do. They are afraid of information they can't control. But you have no reason to be afraid of it. We are not encouraging you to agree with what Putin may say in this interview, but we are urging you to watch it. You should know as much as you can. And then, like a free citizen and not a slave, you can decide for yourself. Thanks.
That man has courage. You know the courage that it takes for him to do all of that just for us to listen to the other side? If you think about it, we're having a fight. Or when anybody's having a fight, you as an adult, as a person, as an older person, as a parent, you want to hear both sides of the coin and see what's going on. Why is the bullying attacking you? Is the other guy a bully? Who started this? And it's just a listening session. After you listen, you make a decision. Like, so-and-so is wrong. Or who do you agree with? So shout out to Tucker Carlson because that man has courage. He is going to be looked at as the bad guy for doing this. But let's give props. Now, I don't know if YouTube allow this to be aired on their channel live, but that video is on YouTube, so I'm assuming yes. And again, welcome to Fisticuffs. That was Tucker Carlson, and I can't wait for that video to happen. I think that right there, what you just saw, has like 5 million views. When he finally does get an interview with the president of Russia, that's going to be like 1 billion views. That's going to get the most views. And I'll be sure to do a reaction on this channel. Let you guys know what I think, because he just said it. It's not about believing what he got to say, but it's listening. Being an open-minded individual, which is what they're scared of you being. They don't want to hear your opinion. They want you to follow their narrative. They want you to follow what they say, period. And so the number one way of doing it is they broadcast whatever they want you to believe, whatever they think you should know. They're trying, like, for example, their hardest to destroy Donald Trump. Convict him because that's the only way they're going to beat him. And I think that if he gets convicted, he's definitely going to win, in my opinion. They try to destroy 6ix9ine. The man is just a musician, an artist, you know, not a real gang member, not a real criminal. They try to convince him, and he may be blackballed in the United States, but the man is universal. He's still making music, and he's just traveling the rest of the world. You know, the man is smart. He understands that the world is bigger than just the United States. Yeah, the United States is the main frontier where all the money is being made, but there's a lot of money in other countries. And he's fine traveling. And right now he's in the Dominican Republic. I don't know why. Like that girl that he's with hit the lotto with 2 famous superstars. She got a baby by, what's his name? He got a baby by a rapper, a Puerto Rican rapper, and then got with 6ix9ine, another Puerto Rican rapper. She just hit the lotto, but he's over there right now doing his thing and trolling the Dominican Republic, and at the same time making everybody famous. And the man likes to give, so he's spreading his wealth. Got to give him credit. So I'm a 6ix9ine fan. I like the music that he makes. I think he's great. He's doing amazing, but he's going up against Alofoque. That's like a Dominican Republic DJ, the #1 DJ over there, and going up against him. But that's funny. Why do I hear like music? Oh, I know where I hear it from here. All right, so I've been doing this live for the last 30 minutes. Let me just get in the middle. I want to try to do this on a regular basis, just share my thoughts with you guys, make sure that the audio is okay, make sure that the visual is okay. I'm getting much better at it. But see, the trick to life is practice. I think that's what a lot of people are not doing. They don't like to practice. They don't like to wake up, get dressed, get ready for work, and go to work. The smart ones who are above and beyond smart try to get away with getting the most without doing anything. And that doesn't work. At the end of the day, that doesn't work. It bites people in the butt, because then what happens when that doesn't work is try to take money from those who are working, from those that are doing the most. Stop bullying them. I mean, I got multiple sclerosis, so I really can't fight back. The way that I dealt with bullying was just to get away from it. Not be around those individuals that are going to bully me. You know, when you're like, I'm almost in a wheelchair. Not in a wheelchair yet. I can still walk. But there are people that want to take advantage of you. You know, so you got to know how you're going to fight those individuals. And my strategy of fighting those individuals is to just get away. Let you be. My strategy has been, okay, you won. You win. You own this city. You own this town. I'm going to move to the next town. A more friendly town where I can be me and enjoy life. A lot of people fail to realize that life is big. A lot of good people. Just like there's a lot of evil people, there's a lot of good people. So even on this online arena, there's people already bullying me. So what's my strategy? Get away from those individuals. Do you. Do your thing. See how far that's going to get you. Being evil, being negative, how far is that going to get you? Right? Me, I'm trying to provide a service, trying to inform people, trying to help people out. So if I could send out a message and in any way that helps you grow, that makes you a little better, great. But it's not going to solve all your problems. Not the point. The point is all individuals learn from the experience of themselves that they go through life and the experience of others. And that's it. We're all human beings. We're learning and we're growing. So if there's anything you could take away from my experience, please. Sharing. A lot of people don't like to share. You know, a lot of people learn something, they grow, and they keep it to themselves. They feel like they have a bag of money they don't want to share. So to each his own. You know, I believe in not judging others. You know, life is only once. I'm not going to spend my one time in life, being evil and hating on others. Instead, just looking to grow and expand my reach. Do what I can. Some people are going to enjoy what you do. Some people are not. Hey, to each his own. Are you happy with what you're doing? You know, I get a chance to talk because I know that my MS is going to take away my talking, my thinking. I'm trying to use it as much as possible because once it's gone, then you're going to say, I should have spoken a little more. I should have spread my ideas a little more. I should have done this, done that. You don't want to live with regrets. You don't want to live with hate. You want to push forward. All right? And every night before I go to bed, I got this from Cat Williams. I can say today was a good day. I got a lot accomplished. Let's keep it going. Tomorrow's going to be better. Go to sleep, wake up tomorrow and start all over and try again. Right now I'm recording from the basement and I try to get down here and I made it, So mission accomplished. Find out what you do best and push it. Just keep pushing forward. Doing what you do best. I was a school teacher for 20 years and it was a job that I didn't want to do. Like I didn't go to school to be a teacher, right? I didn't go to college to be a teacher. I just tried it and it just fit like a glove, and me thinking, let me look for another career. I'm just going to do teaching temporarily. I ended up getting stuck for 20 years until my disability took over and I couldn't walk anymore. Can't even walk in the classroom because MS takes away your ability skills and sent me to retirement. But you see that? Something negative, okay, let's look at the positive. I need to start my own YouTube channel, which I am now monetized. I got 1,250 subscribers. And I want to keep pushing, This channel, Fisticuff, talks about boxing and what's going on. I'm going to use it to just practice me speaking. I've been talking now for a while, and I'm noticing. Hey, Jeffrey, how you doing? Shout out to Amor de Carro. So, again, I'm doing this to expand on my ability to talk, something that's going to go away. But before it does, I'm going to continue pushing forward, continue to speak my mind, let you guys know how I feel, what I think. All the things that are happening, somebody got to say something. And to me, that's the best strategy on dealing with bullies. Let them do their own thing. We don't got to exchange ideas. We don't got to talk. You do you, I do me. Your idea seems to be working. Okay, keep it going. Good for you. I don't care. I'm doing my own thing because I got my own family, got my own goals. My ideas are working for me. And you're going to grow, anybody watching this video, taking the little bits and pieces that work for you, right? Nobody can tell you how to live, what to do. You choose. So I am glad that I'm able to share my thoughts, my ideas. And I think we're going to leave it there. I've been on this live now for 38 minutes. It's a lot of talking. It takes practice. I'm going to continue to practice and continue to deliver content to you guys. And again, keep coming back to Fisticuffs, sponsored by Verbal on Life. Verbal on Life is my main channel. You see it there on top, at Verbal on Life. Go ahead and subscribe. All right. With that, I'm going to say peace and write down your comments below. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think about what I said. And we're going to continue pushing forward, pushing this ahead. Peace.